Hey again, everyone, friends, subscribers, hardcore gamers. This is that NES fan coming back at you. And for those of you who have been following me closely for the last couple months, you've known that I made several reviews on here on YouTube. Most notably, my Rock Band 3 drum kit review, which I reviewed actually right at the beginning of this year, back in January. Um, but those of you who follow me closely right now even know that I'm not really making reviews. I'm more of an observer. Observer. I can't talk. So what that means basically is I'm a spectator basically, right? So I watch other videos, I watch other reviews, video game reviews, which I really enjoy doing. I just love video games in general. So I watch other reviews, and I do try to offer some of my honest, constructive feedback, constructive criticism, and of course compliments. If I like something, I'm going to come out and say it. And so that being said, I'm going to kind of go out and try to give some real basic this is real basic points in general about how to make a good video game review for the YouTube community that people will actually remember, and or try to walk away with some a clear understanding of where you stand on it, because obviously all reviews are going to have some sort of bias in there depending on how much you like the game, the history behind it, if you like the producer or whatever, the company. So if my computer will allow me, I'm hoping it will. It allow me to make my video game or my video response to Neo Jake Gamer in the last one. So hopefully it will hopefully it'll allow me to do this too. I'm gonna go out basically and give you some like I say hints or tips on how to make an effective video game review. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull up my emulator. What do we got? I'm just gonna pull up my NES emulator. Okay. And again, you don't have to use an emulator. You should have some sort of visual when you're making a good video game review, because there's always, you should have some sort of visual. I mean, whether you film your TV or whatnot, have some sort of visual. I use emulators. All right, and here's my NES emulator. Okay, and and obviously if you're using a computer, use some sort of good screen capture software. And use some sort of capture software so that you can obviously get the screen without you having to hold up to a camera to the computer monitor. I think that'll be a little awkward, right? TV, it wouldn't be as, TV, the quality is a little bit better if you hold up a camera to it. But don't try doing that with the with the computer. But anyway, yeah, once you have your screen or whatever, if there's an option on your emulator to just record, which most emulators do, mine does, but it goes to a weird file type. I have something called movie, and then record, but I can go into AVI, but again, AVIs don't work well on my computer, so it's neither here nor there. But just find some way that you can record what you're doing, and the first thing I always do is I give a history of my game or whatever. I always try to go out and give a history of the time period in general, not just the year, right, but the time period, what was big during that time, whether it be an arcade game or a home console or something like that, because that all plays a prominent role in it. You're not going to you wouldn't compare a game like, I don't know, like Galaga or Galaxian, or you wouldn't compare that to something, that came out in like the 80s. You wouldn't compare that to something like, I don't know, some game in the late 90s, some baseball game like MVB Baseball 98 or something like that. So the time period plays a prominent role in your analysis and in your review. And another thing is that you should always keep an open mind about these things too, about the different parts of the game. Specifically, and when I say keep an open mind, I mean specifically about the controls. You should really critically review the controls and how easy it is to play or whatever. I know not a lot of people value that as much as I think they should. So I think the controls say a lot about the game. Basically, how much you can control, how much control you have in general of the game. I think that the more the better, I think, for the most part. So it's not just about graphics, not just about the gameplay. So you should go ahead and review those, no doubt about it. I tend to place very little emphasis on the graphics per se, because you can have good games that have, you know, poor graphics, but if they're fun and entertaining, you know, so what? I mean, if they're, as long as they're fun and entertaining, who cares about the graphics? So that's just my, you know, again, that's personal opinion, personal bias. Um, so all those elements, I think you have to consider, and you know, if you don't have to do a rating. I know there are some people that, you know, some of my friends and subscribers, they have their own video game shows. They don't rate their, you know, their games. They just don't do it. They're not those type of reviewers, and I have complete respect for them, you know. So, you know, go ahead and do what's comfortable for you, but definitely hit on the high points, which I just said: the graphics, the gameplay, and the controls. You just remember those. I think you'll be very fairly fair and balanced, I think, in your review, or at least you'll be complete in your review of the game. And take into account other reviews that you've heard. Now, I know some people say, well, it should be individual, you know, it should be solely based on whatever you think. You should make mention of other reviews, other people's comments, other people's reviews of the game, just to get some, introduce some other sides of the story. You know, they're a perfect example. And I'm just mentioning this right off the top of my head because this was something that came up. This is something that came up earlier tonight. Actually, I was watching a few other vids, and it's like, you know, what's your, it was, I forget, I think the question was like, someone posted, one of my subscribers posted a question, your most embarrassing video game moment, right? And you know, a game that you like a lot that a lot of other people don't like, and I ended up saying Wall Street Kid. And yeah, I mean, it's true, it's not, the game received abysmal ratings, but it's something that I really like, and I made an extra long 11 or 12-minute video elaborating on why I like it, or at least saying why it should have gotten whatever I gave it. I think 3 out of 5 3 out of 5 for was my rating. I think of it 3 or 3.5. That was back last year, and you know, and 3 out of 5 on, you know, on my rating scale is decent to slightly above average, and so I elaborated on why I felt that way. So, you know, always go ahead and give reasons for what you say. Don't just try to be like, you can be silly and entertaining, but always try to say things, back up stuff that you say with actual facts, with, you know, with like concrete evidence or whatever. You know, for example, I like this part of the game because of this, or it influences this later in the game or whatever, or because you know, the scene is really cool or something like that, or, you know, this is my favorite character. So always try to give reasoning for the stuff you say, the statements you make. And that's basically it. I mean, those are the big three. If you can remember to explain, you know, if you can, you know, evaluate a game based on graphics, controls, and gameplay, I think you'll be, pretty complete in your review, or at least sufficient enough to actually go ahead and call it, if you will, a review. So just keep that stuff in mind, guys. I'm interested in seeing more reviews from my subscribers, more people. It seems like I keep getting a lot of private messages, comments on my channels and videos and in my inbox, you know, asking me how to do reviews. And so I hope that this clarifies some of that stuff. And if you have any other questions, feel free to follow up. But this is a video I probably should have made a long time ago, that I never really got around to doing. And figuring my time off, I might as well just go ahead and, you know, and do it and get this out of the way right now as they speak, so that when I come back, you guys will be prepared for the method I use to you know, review my games when I come back from my break, so to speak, when I get a better computer. So that's it all for me for now. You know, I'm just poking around my emulator right now. That's all I'm doing. But you can see this is basically what I use to do my reviews. Again, it doesn't matter. Use some sort of visual, even if you hold up the case or whatever. You know, you provide them some sort of visual, and give at least give them some sort of clip of the game. I mean, you can't just. I think it's boring if you just stand there and talking about it rather than actually showing them the game. So you have to have some footage in it. You know, the game case. There are some people that like to show the original game case. That always helps. It adds to the kind of the retro feel, if you will, especially if it's an older game. So you know, so always go ahead and try to be as honest with your viewers as you can, and that's most important. I think that's how you get the most subscribers. So that's gonna do it for me for now. Though I hope that helped clarify a few things and how I do my reviews. And for me, it's working. I hope you guys can get it to work for you guys. You know, for your channel, for your videos also. And that's all from now. So that'll be that. NES fans signing off for now. Thanks for watching again, guys, or listening, I should say. Not really a video, but whatever. It's mostly audio. But anyway, thanks for watching again. Talk to you later. Good luck with your video game video making skills. Talk to you guys later. So long.